Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhoundial. Before I start, I just want to make it clear that our debate this evening is not a Hindu-Muslim debate. It's one that is rooted in questions of selective secularism and plain and simple fairness. And I'm requesting you right now to keep an open mind for the next 30 minutes, hear all sides and then make up your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the question tonight. Should a medical college funded entirely by Hindu devotees have a quota for Hindu students? That, ladies and gentlemen, is a question that is raging on the streets of Jammu for the last 2 weeks. It was triggered after 43 of the 50 MBBS seats at Mata Vaishno Devi Medical College in Katra were bagged by Muslim students. Just 6 of these 50 seats went to Hindus, while one seat went to a Sikh student. So which means a majority, a bulk of the seats went to Muslim students. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as for all other medical colleges in this country which are not of minority status, students sit for their NEET exams and then are selected entirely on merit. But the BJP, along with right-wing groups, are up in arms. They are asking, how can a medical college that is funded by Vaishno Devi devotees deny those very devotees a medical education? If it is Hindu money, they argue, that is funding the medical college, then there needs to be reservation for Hindu aspirants. Protesters have been out on the streets seeking the cancellation of admission to Muslim students. By the way, this is just the first batch. The BJP has even approached the LG Manoj Sinha, asking for the rules of admission to be changed. First and foremost, let's listen into what protesters on the streets are saying.
मेरा मांग बड़ी स्पष्ट है जी, एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो के माध्यम से ये जांच की जाए कि किसने साजिश रची है। जब बच्चे हमारे पास थे, हिंदू बच्चे यहाँ भेजने चाहिए थे। ये प्योरली एक हिंदू ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, ये प्योरली हिंदुओं के पैसे से बना हुआ है। माता वैष्णो देवी श्राइन बोर्ड हिंदुओं के पैसे से निर्माण हुआ है उसका। यहाँ पूजा पद्धति है, यहाँ धार्मिकता है, रोज सुबह आरती होती है, तो क्या मुसलमान वहाँ आरती करेंगे? ये दिमाग के अंदर नहीं आया। ये एक साजिश है, जिस साजिश के माध्यम से उस धार्मिकता को भंग करने का प्रयास कुछ लोगों ने करा है। एंटी करप्शन इसको देखे, उन लोगों को पकड़े और उनको अंदर करे।
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, has taken umbrage to demands being made by protesters and the BJP. He is arguing that the 43 Muslim students have got their admission via merit, and cancelling their admission would be illegal because, after all, the university that actually houses the medical school is affiliated as a state university. It was formed under an act that was passed by the Jammu and Kashmir legislature. So it may be funded by the shrine, but it actually is a state university and state rules apply to it. So he says reservations cannot be made on grounds of religion. Here, ladies and gentlemen, he may have a point, but then merit and fairness are two different things, and we will discuss that in just a bit. But first, hear what Omar Abdullah is saying. He has gone on to say that if Muslim students are denied because of their religion, they will go seek out places like Al-Falah or medical colleges in Bangladesh and Turkey that are hotbeds of radical thought.
अब अगर आप चाहते हो कि इसमें मुसलमान ना पढ़ें, ठीक है ना, अब नहीं पढ़ेंगे हम। आप करिए इसको माइनॉरिटी इंस्टीट्यूट जो है इसको डिक्लेयर करिए, बाकी जो मुस्लिम स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो हट जाएंगे, इससे कहीं और एडमिशन हासिल करेंगे। फिर मुसलमानों के खिलाफ उंगली उठाते हो, कहते हो कि ना ये कम्युनल हो गए हैं, ये सेक्टेरियन हो गए हैं, ये जो है ये दूसरों को बर्दाश्त नहीं करते, तो ये याद करिएगा, जब आप इनके बच्चों को बर्दाश्त नहीं करोगे तो कल को फिर जब कुछ हो जाता है, फिर आप पूरी कौम को कसूरवार मत ठहराइए इसके लिए। अगर आप चाहते हो कि मुस्लिम बच्चे जो हैं आपके इस मेडिकल कॉलेज में नहीं पढ़ें, मेहरबानी करके इसका आप स्टेटस बदल दीजिए, इसको माइनॉरिटी स्टेटस दे दीजिए और हमारे बच्चे जो हैं वो कहीं और एडमिशन हासिल करेंगे, बांग्लादेश जाएंगे, टर्की जाएंगे, कहीं और जाएंगे।
To that, the BJP has come full guns blazing. They are saying that the Chief Minister's secularism is selective and that he is justifying radicalization of Muslim youth. But Omar has found support in the PDP.
तो ये वो जो अंग्रेजों की डिवाइड एंड रूल पॉलिसी है, उसकी लेगेसी है. कहीं ना कहीं अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई थिंक ये बीजेपी pitches this politics in state of Jammu and Kashmir. It will divide institutions. It will communalize आपकी यूनिवर्सिटीज.
उमर साहब, ये डराने वाली पॉलिटिक्स जो है ये नहीं चलेगी. आप डर का माहौल बनाना चाहते हो, आप ब्लैकमेल करना चाहते हो, आप भारतीय राजनीति को ब्लैकमेल करना चाहते हो. जो एंटी नेशनल फीलिंग है, जो समाज के खिलाफ फीलिंग है, जो भारत के खिलाफ फीलिंग है, वो उठ के सामने आती है जब वो बांग्लादेश और तुर्की का नाम लेते हैं.
आज पढ़े लिखे मुसलमान नौजवानों की जो फौज निकल रही है, अगर ये 2 विश्वविद्यालय ना हो, अलीगढ़ और जामिया ना हो, तो कहां इनके लिए मौका है? तो सीधे सीधे अगर कोई किसी प्रोफेसर का मामला है तो कानून के मुताबिक जो आपको काम करना है वो आप काम करिए. हम आपसे पूछना चाहते हैं कि आईएसआई जो भारत के मेजॉरिटी नॉन मुस्लिम को रिक्रूट कर रही है, जिन कॉलेज से वो पढ़े हैं, जहां उन्होंने नौकरियां करी हैं, उनकी क्या जिम्मेदारी है? क्या ये कहा जाए कि जितने आईएसआई रिक्रूट्स हो रहे हैं उसको बीजेपी रिक्रूट करा रही है?
Ladies and gentlemen, simple point is this. Given the 50% reservation in medical colleges, many meritorious students are denied seats at places like the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. It happens every year. Do they get radicalized and then pick up the gun? No, they don't. So Omar Abdullah's point is falling flat there. Another point. Let's take the example of Jamia Millia Islamia that the Samajwadi Party spokesperson just spoke about. The university is in Delhi. It's a minority institution. It is funded by the central government, your money and my money. But it has 50% reservation for Muslims. Then question is, why can't a Hindu-funded medical college have 50% reservation for Hindus? Will that be pro-fairness or anti-Muslim? Now, Omar Abdullah, you heard him in his soundbite, says, let the medical college, the Mata Vaishno Devi Medical College, apply for minority status. Is that the way out? But then the question arises, can Hindus be declared a minority in India anywhere? That question, by the way, is still being debated in the Supreme Court. My guest this evening, Siddharth Yadav, is spokesperson of the BJP, joining us on the broadcast. Advocate Harsh Dhaiya is a political analyst with us on the broadcast as well. Good evening, gentlemen. Sanjeev Kaushik, political analyst, will be speaking on behalf of the Congress party, hopefully. And Sarfaraz Wani is a lawyer joining us from Jammu. Sarfaraz, I'm going to come to you first. If there are protests on the streets of Katra and Jammu, if protesters and the BJP are saying that, look, every pie that has been spent to build this medical college, I'm not talking about the university, I'm talking about the medical college. If every pie that has been spent to build this medical college is money donated by Hindu devotees to Mata Vaishno Devi, what is the problem if these protesters and the BJP say there needs to be a Hindu quota in the medical college, at least 50%? They are not saying don't admit Muslim students. All they are saying is out of 50, you can't have 43 Muslim students.
Shreya, first of all, we need to understand, is it the only college in the country which, even though funded by a religious trust or a religious institution, is taking students from the general category? And the answer is no. Because there are many colleges in India which are being funded by Muslims, and they have chosen not to register themselves as minority institutions. I can give you n number of examples. In Karnataka, there is a Alipur college. In Kerala, there is a medical college, which, even though they are minorities, they are funded by Muslims, they are funded by trusts, they have chosen not to register themselves as minority institutions.
Okay. So
it is not a selective case with this institution. Number second, this is the institution which is also being funded by the government. There is a good substantial amount of the money which is also being paid by the government. And number three, what is the criteria? Once you have a professional college, there are a number of authorities from the courts, from the Supreme Court, in TMI Pi Foundation, that you have to, in a professional college where you receive funds, you cannot choose students on the basis of their religion.
Sarfaraz Wani,
this is a law declared by the court,
Sarfaraz Wani,
which is why I
went beyond the handout that was given by the Jammu and Kashmir government to reporters today. The Jammu and Kashmir government has given a handout saying, look, this university, this medical college is not just funded by Hindus and Hindu devotees' money, it is funded by the state government as well. They have given a figure of 24 crore, 28 crore, and since 2016, 121 crores is what they are saying that they have paid the university. But this is the university, the Mata Vaishno Devi University you are talking about. This is not the medical college. Every pie that has been spent in the medical college, some 500 crore rupees, has come from the Shrine Board. Therefore, your argument doesn't stand.
So you cannot differentiate between the two. After all, the college is affiliated with the university.
That is convenient.
The university has its affiliation with a proper medical council.
That is very convenient.
So we cannot differentiate between the two.
No, that is very convenient.
My point is, once you are a professional college, see, the legal point here is simple. Once you are a professional college, the courts have held that if you receive even a minute amount of aid from the government, you are not allowed to take the students from the minority. This is an upheld case. And the other point is, can Hindus claim minority in Jammu and Kashmir? That is the other point. But I am not going to that point.
No,
My point is simple.
We can't
if you
go to
want
that
to
point
claim minority,
because
you have to re-register yourself.
Because the fact
you
is
have
that
to re-register yourself.
No, but the fact is that Hindus are a minority in Jammu and Kashmir. They are about 28% to 30%. And the center has said that in some states, Hindus can be given a minority status. But the matter, as I said, is in the Supreme Court. Let me get in Siddharth Yadav here. Siddharth Yadav, there is a question of fairness and then there is a question of merit. Now, the protesters can say what they want to say. They are angry. They are saying something hanky-panky has happened. Dhandlebazi hui hai admission mein, CBI ko bulao, etc., etc. We know that these admissions that have happened to the college have happened via NEET. These 43 Muslim students who have gotten admitted is purely via merit. They were simply better, because of which they have got admission. Now to come out and say, cancel these admissions. How fair is that?
No, I think if someone alleges the issues of merit for any examination, why is it that we would have a different stance if it is a university or a college which is funded by Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board Trust? If similar allegations would have been made in any other part of the country for any other college where such admissions would have happened, would we not have kept the same fairness of saying
when
that
such admissions,
allegations
what do you
have
mean?
to be investigated upon?
When you say such admissions, what do you mean?
When I say such admissions, I mean that in any college where, say, 50 students are to be admitted and there is an allegation that merit is not followed, specific students coming from, say, any specific community, I'm not speaking about a Hindu-Muslim issue here, but coming from any specific community or a certain section of students who have, gained admission there following non-merit. Now, this is beyond religious issues.
Correct.
This has nothing to do with any sect or religion. If merit is not to be followed, if that is the allegation, what is the harm in getting that investigated?
So, Siddharth Yadav, then you are pointing a question at an institution and an agency run by your own government, the NEET. It is the NEET that has conducted this exam, and they are saying we have followed the rules. There is no hanky-panky. Students who were better have got admitted. Students who didn't study hard enough or didn't prepare haven't gotten admitted. अब इसमें बुरा मानने की तो बात नहीं है. People who have gotten admitted just because they are Muslims, can we ask for their admission to be cancelled? Will that be fair?
No, absolutely. No, I absolutely agree. And I think what is fair in the sense of things is that if the candidates who have not secured the admission in that college, and it could be on the grounds that they were not good enough, if they demand so, the relevant authorities would do an internal investigation and the answer would come out. I don't see this to be an issue that big to be debated. But what is the other issue is, I think, our concern today. And that other issue is that if an institution which is funded by a trust and the purpose of that institution also, and the trustees who are funding that institution also have a feeling that, a certain reservation should be given to a minority, and it is by various judgments of the Honorable Supreme Court that minorities can be identified at the state levels as well. Why is it that if Hindus have to be given that right in Jammu and Kashmir, they have to be denied, or it has to be debated, or someone has to say that if you don't give them this right, you know, if you try to give that right to the minorities in the state, others will become terrorists. Is this how a democracy is run?
No, that's a fair point.
Chief Minister,
that's a fair point. And I'll come to the Chief Minister's statement in a bit. It's a fair point. I'll come to the Chief Minister's statement in a bit, but just let me get over this merit issue. Sanjeev Kaushik ji, koi problem to honi nahi chahiye. We can say ki, you know, the university was formed under an act of the legislature, which is why it's a state university. But the fact is that agar state ne 120 crore rupees diye hain is university ko, then the Shrine Board has spent at least 1,500 crore rupees on this university. I'm not even speaking about the medical school, where not even a single penny has been given by the state. Now, if in this case the Hindus are saying, "Paisa hamara hai, kam se kam hamare bachchon ko to admit kar lo," they are not wrong. It's just a fair demand. Why should anyone have a problem with it, and why should anyone be sarcastic and say, "Jao pehle minority tag le aao"?
श्रेया, दो बातें हैं. पहली बात तो ये कि क्या अनियमितता के आधार पर उन बच्चों का एडमिशन हुआ है, या भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये कहना चाह रही है कि उसमें अल्पसंख्यक या वहां के बहुसंख्यक आबादी के हिसाब से, क्योंकि जम्मू कश्मीर में 2011 के बाद में दोबारा कभी जनगणना हुई नहीं, और अभी के वक्त में देखा जाए तो वहां तकरीबन 68% के आसपास में मुस्लिम है और 28% के आसपास में हिंदू है. तो क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी पहले ये कंफ्यूजन दूर करे कि वहां ज्यादा मुस्लिमों के बच्चे का एडमिशन हो गया, उस पर आपत्ति है, या फिर अनियमितता के आधार पर एडमिशन हुआ है? यदि अनियमितता यदि इसका कारण है तो निश्चित तौर पे आपने खुद सवाल कहा कि केंद्र सरकार के गेंद पाले में है, फिर वो जांच करे, देखे, जो उसमें गड़बड़ी करे उसको पकड़े. वो दो बातें हैं. कश्मीर के मुख्यमंत्री अब्दुल्ला क्या कह रहे हैं? उमर अब्दुल्ला ये कह रहे हैं कि जिस समय विधानसभा में इस यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए विधेयक पारित हुआ, उस समय यदि एक शब्द जोड़ दिया जाता कि ये केवल अल्पसंख्यकों के लिए है, क्या सचमुच में वहां अल्पसंख्यकों का इलाज नहीं होगा? आप यदि ये कह रहे हैं कि वहां के हिसाब से बहुसंख्यक है, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान के हिसाब से हम कह रहे हैं, तो क्या सचमुच में वहां मुस्लिमों का इलाज नहीं होगा? मुस्लिमों के बच्चे, यदि जिस स्टेट में इतनी बड़ी आबादी हो, तो जाहिर सी बात है कि बड़ी आबादी में से ज्यादा बच्चे उसमें जाएंगे. तो पहले कंफ्यूजन दूर करें कि आपको आपत्ति क्या है. आपत्ति एकमात्र हिंदू मुसलमान करना है. आप आइए, स्वागत है आपका, आप उसे अल्पसंख्यकों के लिए एक यूनिवर्सिटी घोषित कर दीजिए. कोई बच्चे उसमें एडमिशन नहीं लेंगे, बात कहानी खत्म हो जाएगी. बात बिल्कुल सही है कि
नहीं, तो फिर उसके बाद तो धमकी भी आ रही है ना यूनिवर्सिटी. संजीव कौशिक जी, उसके बाद तो धमकी भी आ रही है ना? उसके बाद तो धमकी भी आ गई कि आप कर दीजिए, इसको माइनॉरिटी टैग दे दीजिए, फिर जाएंगे हमारे बच्चे अल-फलाह जैसी यूनिवर्सिटीज में पढ़ने. जाएंगे वो बांग्लादेश और टर्की, जहां पे रेडिकलाइजेशन होता है हमारे बच्चों का. तो धमकी भी तो वही दे रहे हैं.
श्रेया, जिन बच्चों के एडमिशन हुए हैं, यदि सचमुच में उन बच्चों के साथ यदि कुछ गड़बड़ी होती है या उनको बाहर निकाला जाता है, या फिर मैंने कहा कि यदि अनियमितता हुई है तो जांच हो, कार्रवाई हो, ये एक अलग विषय है.
ठीक है.
लेकिन केवल आप धर्म के आधार पर उन बच्चों को उससे बाहर निकालते हैं और यूनिवर्सिटी आप घोषित कर दीजिए कि केवल
नहीं. इस समय अगर उनका एडमिशन कैंसिल होता है, अगर उनका एडमिशन कैंसिल होता है, देन डेफिनेटली वो सिर्फ धर्म के बेसिस पे होगा. देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट दैट. बट क्या ये कहना ठीक है कि बच्चों का एडमिशन कैंसिल हो गया या बच्चे को एडमिशन नहीं मिला, इसकी वजह से वो रेडिकलाइज हो जाएगा? मतलब इसका तो कोई लॉजिक बनता नहीं है. अब ऐसे तो ब्राह्मण बच्चे भी बोल सकते हैं कि मेरिट हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन 50% रिजर्वेशन है इस देश में, तो IIT IIM में हम घुस नहीं पाते हैं, हम भी डिप्रेस्ड हैं, हम भी क्या बंदूक उठा लें? ये रेडिकलाइजेशन को तो हम लोग जस्टिफाई नहीं कर सकते ना. सिद्धार्थ यादव, यू वांट टू कम इन हियर?
No, absolutely. And I think this is such an absurd argument, Shreya, that you are telling, and I think this is, extension to what Umar Abdullah is saying. अगर उन बच्चों का एडमिशन कैंसिल हो गया तो क्या करेंगे? कोई क्या करेगा? Would you justify? आप वो आतंकवादी बन जाएंगे? ये देश ऐसे चलेगा? What are you trying to say? कश्मीरी पंडितों को वहां से हटा दिया गया, जम्मू कश्मीर से, उनके कितने स्कूल छूट गए, कितने एडमिशंस कैंसिल हो गए, वहां की रिसोर्सेज पर कभी वो बच्चे जाकर के नहीं पढ़ पाए, आतंकवादी बन गए. क्या वो कहेंगे कि हम आज आतंकवादी बन जाते हैं, जम्मू कश्मीर को फोड़े? दिस आइडियोलॉजी एंड दिस थॉट जो ये कहे कि अगर ऐसा नहीं हुआ, वी विल keep you hostage. अगर आपने एडमिशन नहीं दिया, we will keep you hostage. और ये कह देना to us in a state where Hindus are in minority, very convenient for you. Such a convenient politics. आप कह रहे हैं we are 70% in the state, but if you don't give us admission to a university where Hindus have donated thousands of crore rupees, हम अगर आपने वहां भी हमको admission नहीं दिया, we will turn into terrorists and then we'll come and kill you. This is not the way a democracy works. And I totally oppose this argument, but the opposition, I think, for the extension of their appeasement politics, will continue to do so.
Sarfaraz Wani, did Omar Abdullah cross the line? Because he certainly did. He's making a point about merit. We understand that point he's making. He's absolutely right. This is a dilemma. This is a question. But to go and then warn, do an al-Falah type of warning, say that children will pick up the gun, children will get radicalized if you single them out, etc. How fair was that? Has he crossed the line?
See, Shreya, for God's sake, please, come into the shoes of those boys and all those students who have gotten selected there. They have worked hard, they have cracked merit, maybe they have studied for years to become a doctor. And now today they are being questioned only because they are Muslims. See the state of affairs in our country right now. See wherever democracy is going and wherever intellectual class is going. You are questioning somebody only because he is a Muslim. And those students must be depressed today. And they have been questioned by the country only because, okay, you are Muslims. See the state of affairs. Please try to understand their state of affairs right now. Just because somebody is a Muslim and you are questioning him, why did he go to the college? Had the college taken 50 students or 45 students from Hindus, there would have been no controversy at all. This is the state of affairs. Just because they studied, they cracked a NEET exam. NEET exam is your criteria of becoming a doctor and becoming eligible for this. They are not come through a back door or they have not come through some other process. It is only the NEET, the medical agency of the country, which has given them the merit.
Okay.
And this is absolutely a mess right now. I don't think we should have been even debating this today in a debate. Somebody has qualified, somebody is more intelligent or somebody has good merit and he is today in a controversy just because he has qualified.
It will be debated because the fact is there is a question of selective secularism here. The fact also is that there have been massive protests in Jammu for the last 2 weeks. But I believe Harsh Dhaya wants to come in. Again, Mr. Bani, I agree that Muslim students today who have cracked the NEET and gotten admission are fearful of what their fate holds. I agree with you there. But does it mean at any point of time that they will be so depressed and so disillusioned that they will get radicalized and pick up the gun? That argument doesn't hold. Stop at the fact that they will feel cheated, they will feel depressed. You can stop there. But to extend it and try and justify radicalization and by extension terror, I don't think is okay. Go ahead.
And they are in a controversy.
Mr. Dhaya, go ahead, please.
Shreya, go.
Shreya ji, let me put it clear that, I'm asking my friend Sarfaraz Wani and other people who are raising these issues, what is the problem with a fair investigation? I have seen several instances, several cases in high courts and Supreme Court where these colleges have gone over and above NEET and taken students without proper NEET consultation.
But why will the Mata Vaishno Devi Medical College conspire to take 43 Muslim students and admit only 6 Hindu students? That doesn't hold any logic. In fact, the university is mum. They are not saying anything.
See, that is the particular reason why a proper investigation is needed, why this has happened. And had that been the case ki bhai ye over and above gaye hain NEET ke, so what is the problem with investigation? It could be someone from means as in this consultation jo karte hain usme NEET mein उनकी कोई गड़बड़ी रही हो, कुछ रहा हो. How is it possible that so many students, when they have a problem with the national emblem on their mosque, but they will study at institution funded by Hindus, which is so revered by Hindus, which is so important to our faith. So many millions of Hindus go to
But if Muslim students do not have a problem, why should you have a problem? If Muslim students don't have a problem that the medical college is named Mata Vaishno Devi Medical College, why should you have a problem? Secular
the problem is with selective secularism of India Alliance and PDP and And you know, I'm not surprised by the statement given by Mr. Omar Abdullah, because his family has a history of such things. His father overlooked the genocide of Kashmiri Hindus, Kashmiri Pandits in the valley, when he was ruling Kashmir at that point of time. And now the son is clearly blackmailing the Indian state कि आप या तो हमारी पूरी selective secularism की और हमारी blackmailing मानो, वरना हमारे बच्चे तो हथियार उठाएंगे, वो आतंकवादी बन जाएंगे. Either give us admission wherever we want, but if we are not given admissions, we'll become terrorists. That is the clear message that he's sending. Because had this been the case, then why have we not seen even a single Kashmiri Pandit terrorist so far? Because the problem lies in the ideology that is being propagated in the Kashmir Valley, wherein आप blackmailing पे उतर जाते हैं, आप अपने आप को इतना victimhood में engrave कर लेते हैं कि उसके आगे आप देख ही नहीं पाते.
ठीक है, Mr. Wani, I'll give you 20 seconds. You can respond. We'll wrap this debate.
See, this is not the point of debate. The only point is the students who have worked hard have been selected by an agency which is run by central government. NEET is a very independent agency, and the central government only has the control. And if they have selected them, why to question? Why to bring their careers at stake? Is it wrong that they have qualified the exam? Do you mean to say that just because they have chosen not to take any other path and study, and they are wrong today? This
and
is
Siddharth Yadav,
which is over and above.
okay, and Siddharth Yadav, lastly, you know, before I wrap, the solution seems to be for the university and the medical college to go in for the minority tag. Now, the fact is that Manoj Sinha is the governor of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir is in any case a union territory. If the BJP wants, if the BJP government wants, it can very easily give a minority tag to the university if the university asks for it. What's the harm? It will solve the problem.
No, Shreya, first of all, I think legislatively speaking, since Jammu and Kashmir also has a legislative government, and the bill of this university was passed in the Legislative Assembly in 1999, and now whatever changes have to be made by the Legislative Assembly, and the LG cannot be overriding those. I think that is the legislative position of it. So definitely the elected government at question today has to take a stance and has to accept the rights and the demands of the minority community in Jammu and Kashmir. But I would just in 10 seconds want to wrap up why of these arguments not extended the kind of victim card that was being played at your show for students who aspire to go to AMU and Jamia Millia Islamia. So many students coming from the Hindu community, work so hard, but they are denied admission. They are denied admission in Jamia Millia Islamia and AMU, which are funded by their money, taxpayers' money, just because of their religion. You never ask these questions. In 2013, reservation to all the backward communities was revoked from AMU and Jamia. All the students coming from the reserved classes are not given an admission to these two universities, which are funded by the taxpayers' money. You never ask a question for that. Why only victim card here? But this kind of, antagonizing the entire situation, that's a problem. But I think if arguments have to be given, have to give to both sides.
All right. I think we've heard both sides of the argument. It was important to hear both sides of the argument. As I said in the beginning of the show, let our viewers have an open mind for 20 minutes. Then they can decide. They can hear all of you and decide what they think. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, Siddharth Yadav, Advocate Harsh Dhaiya, Sanjeev Kaushik, and Sarfaraz Wani for joining us. Thank you very much. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, a break. There's more on the other side. Do stay with us.